And we're rolling. October 5th, 2018. I'm Chris McClary with your daily surf report. And if you were wanting some energy to push you out the gate and get you started on a Monday morning, today is not that day. But there is some good energy. It's just not early in the day. And in a nutshell, what we have in the morning is a square to Pluto with the moon in Libra. And then Pluto, the square, is not too harmonious, but it's going to be drumming up some old emotions. You're going to have to work through those. This might be a little bit heavy initially, but there's a lot of learning. And then later in the day, you're going to have Mars trine Moon. And both of those are in air signs. And it's very analytical, and you'll be able to, with Mars, boom, now you're out the gate. It might be a little bit too late for you, but your power is going to be in the afternoon, in the evening. Okay, so you can plan on that. Now, we'll talk about how to orchestrate all this, but I want to point out 5 is sociable, friendly, and creative. That is really going to be a factor for just Moon and Libra in general. So you're going to be a little bit more sociable. This little square here with Pluto, and, yes, it has to do with other people, but and other people are going to be mirroring this subconscious material that's within you and to bring it out. And we'll talk about how to handle all this a little bit later. It looks a little bit confusing, so what I'm going to do is just go to the DreamBot, and I'm going to summarize it for you. And the reason we look at dreams is because it's the subconscious material in the collective, and it's an influence. This mind of ours, all of ours together, this big soup, affects us, affects how we feel and behave. And lo and behold, we have 2 aspects that look very similar to what the stars are showing, but it helps us hone in on what part of that influence. So the red part is about the moon square Pluto. Believed, literal, placed, finding, wrong, wondering, revealed, nowhere. It's in the red is the continuum. There's a continuum of wondering what's out there, wondering what's within, and then, oh, yes, I know what is without. And so we're going to talk a little bit later about how to orchestrate that, but that's the continuum. The moon square Pluto is in the red. And then in the blue is the moon trine Mars. It's all numbers. Watch for the numbers. 2018 is a number. Last, number, tax, calculation, and total. All about numbers. Very rational. You have the trine is Libra and Aquarius. So very cerebral, it's very mental. It's an two air signs. And so very harmonious, but rational and logical at the same time. All right. Before we get any further, let's do our transition. We can talk about how to orchestrate all this because it sounds so confusing. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't already. That way you don't miss any of these surf reports. The schedule might get changed, but as long as you're YouTuber subscribed with hit the bell so you get notified and you won't have to worry about any scheduling changes. I don't have any. I would let you know I don't have any yet. I still am preparing my 3 projects now, and one by one I'll be laying those out, and we'll go from there. But what do we have today? We're going to start with Pluto. Pluto knows. We're going to start with the buried feelings, the very subconscious material. Pluto is very subconscious and very deep and very, very transformative. And so the way it works today is, I think the goal of the Pluto aspect, remember, squares aren't good nor bad. They just are. and they don't feel very good while you're going through them, but particularly the square to Pluto can be very transformative. What I'm calling a micro transformation could be happening today, and here's how it happens. Early in the morning, we're going to be wading through emotional content from the past. You might get triggered into the past. You might see power struggles. You might see manipulations. You might feel like you need to go back to an old addiction that you've successfully gotten rid of, or an old relationship that you've. So being triggered is the point here. And you'll notice that you're being triggered when you start to feel resistance, when you start to feel like you need to leave or anxious. And it also might be present when you notice yourself going to a bad habit. So when we feel these things, we tend to try to distract ourselves with things that aren't so healthy for us, because we're trying to feel good. We're trying to feel like we don't want to feel these bad feelings. So that's the point with Pluto, is that it's trying to make this what was subconscious into the conscious mind. So when you notice yourself trying to distract yourself by maybe eating foods you shouldn't be eating or doing something you shouldn't be doing, that's the time to stop and reflect. What is it that I'm avoiding? And this is exactly what we're talking about. These buried feelings, power struggles, secrets revealed. This is all about a positive transformation if you know how to surf it. And so we know how to surf it by watch yourself going to these dysfunctional bad habits. Don't carry through with the bad habit. Instead, realize which feeling is being buried or is being struggled with, and then learn to just live with it. And you live with it by just merely relaxing into it, seeing that it's there. But it's a thought. It's not consumed you. It's not in you. It's not something in you. It's not you, your identity. It's just a thought. And we have lots of different thoughts, lots of different memories. And so we don't have to be deeply attached to that. So we can detach from it, realize that we are something different than those thoughts, and then just go about your day as normal. Once you get this learning in, that's when the triggering stops. You don't need to be triggered anymore. There's no lesson for you after you've learned your lesson. And now we get into the second part of the day, which is Mars trine Moon. And this is all about very analytical approach, rational, looking at measurable goals and objectives. And so we've taken the lesson learned from the morning time frame with the Pluto debacle and bringing that up into the subconscious, into the conscious mind. And now we can put steps in place that are very measurable, rational, and move forward in your life towards the goals that you need, towards your higher soul purpose. Okay? Using those lessons learned. And here's the hint. Once you've taken, until you've taken this lesson learned from the Pluto thing, and you've put action into your life from that learning, it will continue to haunt you. Okay? That's the big secret. And once you've taken that lesson learned and installed a definite transformative action into your life, then the learning is no longer needed. And therefore, the triggering stops. Okay? That's the little secret for today. That's all we have for today. And we will see you again tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Oops. Sorry.